This issue did not disappoint. What's up, YouTubers of the world? Mickey Geek Mixer here, ready to give you guys issue number 30, the final part of the Terminus Agenda, the epilogue. And boy, I've been waiting for this issue for a lot of reasons. For one, when I found out the summary of what it was, not to mention this cover, how could you? Boy, did it just tell you you cannot miss this issue, and you must not miss this issue. It is a completely new direction in what's going to happen with the Teen Titans, and I am not joking. And Adam Glass and Bernard, you guys did amazing with the dialogues and the art. The writing was beautiful, spot on. Just everything in this issue just gets to you that you read through this and you're just gonna go spiraling out of control with all sorts of intense emotions, because that's all I was feeling for me. That was anxiety in me all the time as I was reading this. But let me just go into it and so you guys can understand what happened here. It's unbelievable. So it starts off with like Red Arrow, Kid Flash, and Robin. They are pretty much just cleaning up the mess from Deathstroke and talking about how they left his body somewhere, which you can find out in the next issue. But then this is where the confrontation began, where the three new members were not happy that they were left out of the loop on that secret prison. Roundhouse, like I suspected, was mostly mad because he was lied to by someone he thought he was his friend, Kid Flash. And Kid Flash is trying to mention that he was going to tell him he needed to process it because he just found this stuff out and he really didn't know how to talk about it. Oh, man. But what really got it all started here was Dejin, who, first off, I loved her. She's the breakout moment of it all. What she says and the dialogue that Adam Glass gives her to say, you can just feel for her. Even though I understand her, I can't necessarily say I agree with her on some levels of what she was saying, and I'll get to it here soon. But basically, with her saying that, yeah, we must release the criminals, Kid Flash is in agreement, and that's where it gets into that heated moment between Flash and Arrow. So much for that moment where they were actually looking like they were gonna bond in a few issues back, because now they're just having a scorn with each other, and the fact on how like Red Arrow killed Deathstroke and stuff, something that's gonna weigh in on her, but also Kid Flash is thinking it'll weigh in on the team. Maybe not. I think it's more on weighing on him. I think it's more weighing on Kid Flash than it is on the others, because the others are just more concerned with the prison. And that's where it gets into explaining why Damian Wayne did it. But before doing that, this is where I'm going to just say that with what Damian's about to say, no, you know what? No. Let me just talk about it real quick before, and then I'll say what I wanted to say. And that was in the fact that he made that prison because of the fact that all the time the criminals have escaped Arkham, Black A, Iron Heights, and back on the streets again, and how he wanted to stop that because he's tired of seeing so many people get hurt and stuff, and while he does not want to kill anymore, he still wants to put the bad guys out for good. And he thinks the prison is one of the ways. And yeah, prison is one of those ways, but in the sense what Damian's doing here, I kind of get it. It's just, I get his methods, but his execution not really the thing you want to do there. And yet still, something that Emiko said, and it had something to do with them saying they're agents of others. Something actually came into me when she said that, which I'll get to here later on, close to the ending of my video here. But sorry guys, I had a little problem. Sorry about that. But what I was saying was, this is where Kid Flash went and called Damian out on that Terminus Agenda protocol, which Deathstroke activated, and he was like saying, and that was like saying that you may keep them prisoners, and I get that they're criminals, but instead of killing, you won't set them free. And that's where Damien is saying he's trying to build a better system, but says something that really gets under Dejin's skin, and no doubt has really broken their friendship. But this is now where I'm going to talk about. I think this is what Adam Glass is trying to do here. You see, the thing about this team is that when they started as a team, they still weren't a team. They were still working on it, on working on bonding together and stuff. And not many of them are still that connected. I mean, before this issue, Robin and Dejin had a good connection going. The connection between Emiko and Robin seems to be okay still. Crush, she doesn't really like anyone except Dejin. And Kid Flash and Roundhouse's friendship is a little broken up. But this is what I think Adam Glass has been going for from the beginning. Something big is about to happen, which was the Terminus Agenda, that's going to break them down, but also make them come together even more. Because I'm not going to lie, everything that's been going on in this book just reminded me of Captain America Civil War without the Accords and their methods of how they think a hero should be done. And this is where the fact that the thing about a team is that each team has different ways of doing things that the other can't do because it's not in their nature and stuff. And this is where they need to all work together to find a common ground that can better comfort them all. And that's what I think Glass is going for. Like how they are now, but how they can be later on will really solidify them as a team. But it's going to take a lot of work here. I mean, think about it like how Batman, he has some methods that the Justice League aren't very necessarily comfortable with, but eventually they start to understand why it's there. They're not necessarily saying that they're completely okay with it, but they understand why it's needed. Because one thing about this team is that each of them are just new to the hero business and stuff, and they don't really get some of the things that like people like Robin and Emiko and Kid Flash get. That being these three, Roundhouse, Dejin, and Crush. But now that I put that out, let's go on over to Dejin, because here's the thing. After Damien talk about he's trying to build a better system, and if you don't like it, you're part of the problem. That right there, even I'm like saying, whoa, Damien, you meant that. That's not the word you should have used, because now Dejin's just confronting you, and she is not happy. I mean, the reason why is because, like, after revealing her past to him, she thought he would understand. But once again, let me remind you guys, and something that Adam Glass mentioned, that what she told Damien is only her side of the story, her surface of the story. Meaning there's more out there she's not revealing. So, but even still, I don't think we can deny it's still, and the fact of the matter is how she's talking about like how she was a prisoner for all her time here, and she doesn't like people's freedom being given away from them. She thinks people should have their freedom. But this is where, yeah, I think she's being, I will admit to what Damien's saying, maybe a little naive. I mean, because like with everything she's seen and stuff, it sounds like, yeah, maybe she's been a little naive on that end. I'm not saying like because it sounded like she's saying everyone should have freedom, even the criminals, but that's a little tough to really agree with there, Jin. I mean, I get what you're saying here, but no, that part, sorry, girl, but with everything that's going on, and after finding out all she did, she's feeling lost and betrayed. She's hurt by what Robin did, what Robin has done. And it's like he's betrayed her feelings, but this is where it got heated up quickly. And who better to heat it up but Crush? And why is that? Well, Dejin didn't want Robin to touch after learning about the cruel things he's doing, even though he's supposed to be a good person. And with Crush having a crush on Damien, I mean Jin, sorry there, guys, but still saying Crush having a crush on Jin, it sounds weird saying that, but that aside from, she just goes and throws Damien, and this is where everyone in the team starts fighting each other, which if you just read this book, you already knew you already knew fists were going to start flying from the beginning with how heated this conversation was getting. Of course, though, it's Crush who ends up starting the fight. But this is where it gets into something out of Kid Flash that is completely stupid. And that's in the saying he's tired of Crush's tantrums. Uh, Tantrums, you're one to talk, man, with all the tantrums you've been throwing out to Flash and Wally West, Barry and Wally West. Yeah, it's a little hard to get behind you on that one, man. I'm not going to lie on that end. But this is also where Roundhouse got into the mix. Everyone's anger starting to heat up, and they all just start fighting each other. But before anything could get further down the line, who better to show up than Crush's father, Lobo? And that's pretty much the issue, guys, but there's so much you can take away from this. For one, like, I get what Dejin is saying, that like there are things worse than death, such as losing your freedom. But when it comes to some of these criminals, if Robin's not gonna kill, he would rather keep them in prison. And she's thinking, no, let's not keep them in prison. Let's let them go free. So some of them could go and hurt more people. I mean, there is that one prisoner that's there, and I know she said she made a mistake and won't, and I truly believe she's trying to do good for herself again. But the other guys, I don't know on that one, Shin, and I'm with Robin on that one. You're being naive in that end, but I think that's what Glass is going for, because he's trying to also make Jin, along with each and every one of these Titans, learn something from each other so they can become a better team and learn of a better way on how to deal with the problem, so they can be better than what Batman and the others are doing, since it continues to go on and on and on. So I can get, at least I think I see what he's trying to do there. But I also think what he's also trying to do here is also show Jin here. How can I put this? You know what? Maybe this is where I can talk a little bit about the love triangle, because that's kind of what was shown in this book. That and the fact that, like, after what's happened, I don't think Jin's going to have that feeling for Robin anymore, and she's just going to go over to Crush. And yet, I would still think that maybe somewhere down the line, she and Robin might get together, or maybe not. I only just say that because, if I'm being honest, I want both a relationship from Jin and Crush, and I know this sounds weird, Jin and Robin, or at least Robin and Emiko, because here's the thing, I want that side of Damian's character explored. We never seen that side of his character explored, and that gives new writers a creative thing to do there. Mess with his character on that end, while also with Crush, we don't know much about her besides her father and what we're about to learn in this next arc coming up, but it also gets us a chance not to explore that side, but her lesbian side. So yes, one way or another, I want it to happen either way. But also, I feel that with what may happen somewhere down the line, Jin might start to realize some of the things that Damian's trying to say. Because if there's one thing I am seeing with Jin and Damian during that argument, it was like Captain America and Iron Man, and a thing about freedom and security. And it sounded more like Jin wants nothing but freedom for people, but she's being naive and knowing that sometimes you gotta sacrifice some freedom for security here, as we've all seen in stuff like Avengers Endgame and all sorts of other things. Sure, we all can be free here, but we can't just be too free here. If we do, we've got too much on our hands here that people are going to be afraid of what we're capable of doing. So yeah, I can understand it on that end. I think that's what Adam Glass is going for, trying to teach Jin and Robin, trying to help those two learn from each other about the balance between both freedom and security. Because that's what I'm getting out of this. But now, real quick, I want to go into something here that Red Arrow mentioned, in the fact on why she doesn't want those prisoners to escape. And that was in the fact that they're agents of the other. And now, I've mentioned this before, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But if y'all want to know what I'm trying to say here, you can check it out in my review of Teen Titans issue 27. It's my theory on who the other is, and that is in the fact I think the other is Jin's brother Elias. And here's what I'm thinking here: like, if it really is Elias, that's my theory of who who the other is. But if it really is him, then yeah, I could not really disagree with Arrow. Because here's the thing: if really is other, and with the power of influence he has and can have on the criminal world, but here's the thing: this is where it's a double-edged sword. Elias, if they let him go, Elias will use his influence as the other to make them do some things again, and the Teen Titans will just have to keep going after him and stuff. But at the same time, the influence might still be there while they're in that prison, and that makes the Titans vulnerable. So no matter which way you're looking at it, it looks like the others got the upper hand on these guys right now. That's just my theory on what we're getting of this right now. And as for all I can say about the whole heated argument and stuff, man, was it like something to see. When it got to the point of fist flying and everything, I'm just like, oh my God, here we go. Because I admit, I could just see this coming long before I came, because just the fact that the argument kept continuing, and man, oh man, you could just feel it. I mean, I could feel it. I could feel the fists were about to start flying. And of course, it's Crush who starts it. And Crush, she only started this fight because of her, as I said, her feelings for Jin. And that's all. Like, she could give a crap about those villains. In other words, if Jin doesn't like something, she's on her side and stuff like that. Oh boy. But man, guys, I really don't know what to say more. This issue, what an issue. What a way to go. And what I also like about it is that the argument didn't conclude. It was interrupted by the arrival of Lobo. My guess is that's because that's what Adam Glass wanted. He didn't want this to be concluded right away because, like I said, he wants them to truly try to find a way to come back together as a team, and maybe Lobo's the key to that, and the key to them learning to find some common ground, some balanced ground on what they need to do as a team, where they can all each be able to do something the other isn't comfortable with, but in a way that can make them just be like, okay, we get it, we understand it, and stuff like that. At least that's what I'm getting from this. All I know is, guys, this issue was amazing, and and like I said, the art was great too. I loved how Bernard was doing this with each of the Titans, each on the side, and he did it with each and every Titan on there. And I loved that. It was beautiful. And just the art itself, along with the dialogue, fit so great together. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, this was a great issue. It is a 9 out of 10, if not 9.5 out of 10 in my book. But that'll be all for today, guys. And if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And once again, Adam Glass, Bernard, great work on this issue. It was beautiful and has me looking forward to more of the books. Awesome stuff, guys. Until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!